Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Everyday Strong. This is your host, CB Baker. We are back once again with, I got a really good topic for everybody. And I struggle between either preaching about this particular topic or just talking about it in a podcast. So I decided to do it podcast style. So let's dive right in. The inspiration for this message, it comes from Proverbs chapter 6, verses 6 through 11. And it reads like this: Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, which having no captain, overseer, or ruler, provides her supplies in the summer and gathers her food in the harvest. How long will you slumber, O sluggard? When will you rise from your sleep? Sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall your poverty come on you like a prowler, and your need like an armed man. All right, so let's dive right into this. So first thing that jumps out at me when I see this is really, of course, the sluggard, and a lot of things swirl around. And one thing that really jumps out is the fact of procrastination and excusitis. We all suffer from this from time to time. It's like there's really no way around it. You're going to deal with this at some point of having some type of excuse or going through a point in your life where you could tell that you're procrastinating a lot more than what you should. Because you could tell when you start out real good, sometimes you even write out your goals, write everything out of what you're going to accomplish, and then look back at it. And next thing you know, nothing happened. Your goals are still sitting right there, but you didn't accomplish anything, right? And that's one of the things that you really got to focus on and realize, like, why didn't I do this? A lot of it has to do with the fact of you may have come down with a case of excusitis along the way when you was trying to accomplish your goals. Okay. And excusitis is very much contagious and dangerous. All right. So let's take a look. Do you remember? Let's think back. Let's go back in the time machine real quick. Do you remember December 31st, 2019? December 31st, 2019, everybody was excited about 2020. Everybody had all their goals, their dreams mapped out, what they was going to accomplish. They was going to basically change their life in 2020. 2020 was it, okay? It was the start of a new decade, start of a new year. That combination is back. And you say, you know what? I've sent from 2010 to 2020. I didn't really do what I wanted to do. Now 2020 is coming here. I'm going to change the way I handle things. And I got my stuff written out. I'm good to go. There was countless of people on Instagram, Facebook. Everybody had classes on how to set your goals up, and everybody was ready. Now, what's interesting about this is that most of the time on New Year's resolutions, most people fail or give up on a New Year's resolution within the first quarter. By April, they're done, or whatever they was planning to do or trying to get accomplished, they're not able to get accomplished. Okay. So, but one thing happened that was very interesting in the first quarter of 2020. And you have probably said it in your head. COVID is what happened. Now, let's really think about this. And I remember I was in Lynn Haven Mall, I think it was March 17th. I get a message on my phone that says schools are going to be out for 2 weeks. I looked at my wife. I said, well, the kids going to be home for 2 weeks. We might as well just take a load off of work. In 2 weeks, we'll get back to it. The curve be flattened out. We'll be straight. Remember when they was trying to flatten the curve back then of COVID cases? And what happened to those 2 weeks, y'all? Those 2 weeks turned into 2 years. Now, there's a lot of people that's sitting listening to me and watching me right now that for at the bare minimum, the first 6 months of that, you was like the old sluggard. You didn't get out of bed, or you got out of bed to go to the couch, and you got up from the couch to go to the refrigerator and back and forth. And you sat and you binge watched Netflix. How many shows did you actually finish during the first 6 months of COVID? Really think about it. You sat around and you watched TV all day. Now I'm gonna tell you what's real funny about this whole thing. There's a lot of people listening to me right now that say, you know what? Back then I ain't have no time to work out, and I had scheduled myself to work out. Then COVID happened. You couldn't leave the house, and guess what? The one thing you didn't do, you didn't work out. And what's crazy is a lot of people's for 2020, their New Year's resolution was to lose weight, and COVID took away everything that you had, every excuse that you could have. I got to go to work. I got to drop the kids off. All the excuses gone. You can sit right in your house and work out. And a lot of people didn't. Think about the COVID weight a lot of people put on. And some of the people right now still got it on them and trying to figure out how to get it off. Okay. So it's very real. And during that COVID time, a lot of people didn't realize what significance happened to them. The disease of the sluggard starts setting in on them. And this is not sometimes we get political on this show, but this is not meant to be a political statement. But there was people that was getting paid $600 a week to not even go to work. $600 a week to not go to work. Now, on the flip side of this coin, you had some people out there that had businesses and restaurants that they was trying to keep open and was trying to hire people. Remember this? And people wouldn't, oh no, I'm not going to go to work. I get $600 a week. You can't match that. So no, I'm not doing that. So I'll just sit right here on this couch and continue to watch Netflix and be the old sluggard. Now, what did King Solomon say to the sluggard? He says, consider the ways of the harvester ant. Now, the harvester ant in this scenario would have done the exact opposite of what most people did during COVID. I remember when COVID first happened, me, Pastor Daniels, and Michael, the video head of the video ministry, we got together. So we got to do virtual church. So we would get on a Wednesday and drive down to the church and go film the virtual service, which was just us in the room. The interesting thing is there was nobody on the highway. It was dead because everything was shut down. You wasn't supposed to leave your house. The harvester ant would have took that type of thing and said, wow, there's nobody out here to get in my way. The same thing that he would have said, the harvester ant would have said, there's nothing hindering me from doing what I would want to do. So let's get this straight, people. That book you've been trying to write or you've been wanting to write for years, you had ample opportunity for the past 3 years to write that book. You had all this opportunity if you was thinking like the harvester ant. See, the harvester ant does its job and does what it's supposed to do no matter the circumstances or the situation. And that's what happened to us during COVID. We backed off. Now we're trying to get back into the groove of things, but it's hard to beat that sluggard mentality or excusitis. The ironic thing is the only way to beat excusitis is by doing something. Okay. You got to get out there and you got to do it. Now, even when you get in a group of things, excuse-itis will bring itself back up. And I'm gonna give you an example of how this could happen. It's kind of it's. I mean, the sun is out today, but let's say y'all wake up tomorrow and it's 85 degrees outside. The sun is out. It's a wonderful day, and you got a decent paying job. But what are you going to say? What do you say to yourself? You say, "Man, I hate to waste this day at work." So you say, "Well, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and call in sick. I can't make it today." All right, well, take it easy. All right, thank you. You hang up and you get in the car and you ride out, top down, gone, spending the time at the beach, down the ocean front, on the boardwalk, taking the sights in, right? Now, what happens if you wake up the next day and it's 85 degrees? Or better yet, you look at your phone, you look at the weather, it's supposed to be like that. And today is Wednesday. It's over in like tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. I could make this 4-day weekend out of this jank. Okay. Nice weather. That starts setting in. But what would the harvester ant do? Check this out. The harvester ant wakes up, it's 85 degrees outside, the sun is out, it's not hot. You know what he says? Man, this is a wonderful day for me to be able to do the work that I'm doing already. God really looked out for me. He gave me a break. It's not cold out here and it's not too hot. It's a wonderful day for me to go to work. That's what the harvester ant does. Flip side of the coin. What happens to you? What do you say now that we're in fall when the weather started getting bad a couple weeks ago? Oh man, I don't want to go out here in this mess. It's all that rain. People can't drive in the rain. You know what? I'm not even gonna go into work. I'm gonna see if I could just work virtually today. And then you sitting in your pajamas, and then you say, I'm gonna work a couple hours or do this, trying to finesse your way out of some work. What would the harvest ant do? The harvest ant would say, well, I went and bought a raincoat and some boots just for these days like this. And I like the boots I got. I'm actually kind of glad it's raining because I can put my boots on and can show how they don't get my feet wet. And this raincoat keeps the rain off me, so I'm able to keep working. See, the mindset of the harvester ant is what King Solomon is trying to tell us we should have at all times. Okay. Now, I understand what you're saying right now. If you sitting there still listening to me, you're saying, okay, I got to stop being lazy and get the job done and accomplish my goals. I get it, CB. I get it. Okay. But you may be missing another part of this because King Solomon told the sluggard to be mindful and watch the harvester ant. King Solomon is teaching us how to watch someone else or something else to emulate what they are doing. So if you have that excuse-itis or the disease of excuse-itis or being a sluggard, the best way out of it is to model somebody else who is not doing that or does not have that behavior. Okay. If you are trying to be something or accomplish something, you have to, not have to, it's the best practice to study someone else that has already done it. And see, that's one of the pieces that people miss in this scripture. King Solomon is telling you to act like and be like the harvester ant, but by studying the harvester ant. You have to take that time out. If you want to be something and you want to accomplish something, then you got to go study what that person does or what those type of people do, and then go do it. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. All right. Now, one thing a transition here. One thing I will say is that with kids, they'll do exactly that and not even think about it. But as adults, we don't do that. I'm gonna ask you a question and put it in the comments. When's the last time as an adult somebody asked you what you wanted to be when you grow up? Yeah, never happens. And my theory of why it never happens is because when you ask a person that as an adult, it's automatically an uncomfortable situation because 95% of the people listening and watching this show, you're not doing what you said you wanted to do when you was a kid. You got off track. Excuse-itis set in, right? So you just, oh well, but that's why you don't ask nobody that as an adult because it's a little bit, not say painful, but it's uncomfortable to think about. And then another reason why when you as an adult don't do it is because you know what it takes now to be able to do something like that. So you may make the excuse of that I'm too old to do that. You know what, CB, I'm 45. I got a college degree, but I can't be a lawyer. I'm too old to be a lawyer. You know how much good you could do being a lawyer, even at 45. If you started school at 45, you could be a lawyer by what, 55? People don't retire to 65, 70. You can keep working. That's a lot of time to really help people out and do what you love, what you would love to do. And I hear people all the time say, "Well, I'm too young. I can't do that." Why not? We live in an information age. There's nothing stopping you from doing what you would like to do. Go study the people. Now let's move on to verse 11 and focus on verse 11. I want to talk about verse 11 real quick. So verse 11 goes like this. So shall your poverty come on you like a prowler and your need like an armed man. And the key word in this, I want y'all to be very clear when I say this to you. The key word in that whole verse is so shall your poverty come on you like a prowler and your need like an armed man. So if you continue to be lazy and continue to be suffering from excusitis, your poverty, your brokenness will come on you like a prowler. And what that means is it sneaks up on you. It's not like, I want to be perfectly clear here. It's not like if you take one day off, next thing you know, you're broke. No, I'm not saying that. King Solomon's not saying that. King Solomon is saying if you continue to be that sluggard, poverty is coming after you. And like a prowler, it's going to sneak up on you and wake up one day and you don't have the ability to do certain things or the ability to pay for certain things. Now I'm about to step on some toes real quick. What happened after COVID? Everybody got stimulus checks. Everybody was chilling. Everybody was happy. And people won't taking the stimulus check and investing in themselves, right? They invested in Louis Vuitton, Versace, right? Oh, how about you went to Kroger to get some crab legs and crab legs sold out because everybody had extra money. Now, what's going on now? The big inflation. Mm-hmm. See, you didn't take that money and invest in yourself to be able to get you more money. But at Harvest the Ant, that's what he would have done. The Harvest the Ant would have took the extra money and said, like I mentioned about the rain boots and the raincoat, give me a raincoat, rain boots, I can keep working. So when tough times hit, I'm able to keep trucking along. When inflation hits, I got some money saved up that can help me through this inflation or the business or the new thing that I had created that helped me bring in more revenue into my household, into me, is able to keep us afloat. That is what King Solomon is trying to get across to you all, to us. We cannot allow that poverty to sneak up on us by us being lazy. Okay. We got to beat procrastination and excusitis. So, in the end, what is God trying to say overall in this scripture? What he's trying to say is you need to really emulate people that you should that's going to bring something better to your life and have the greatest amount of impact on your life. We should be studying and emulating Jesus. God gave us Jesus here on earth for 33 years. And he spent that time here and it was recorded and all the stuff that he did. So we will have something to look towards and to emulate so we can have an abundance of life and live the best possible life that we can live. I'm not sitting here saying to you that you can be Jesus Christ. But what I'm saying to you is trying to be like Jesus Christ and emulating Jesus is the best possible scenario that will ever happen for you in your life, trying to be like anybody else. Thank y'all so much for listening and tuning in today. Please like and share and comment down below if you like this episode. This is your host, CB Baker. Till next time.